Welcome back to Parent Squad. Back to school season is in full swing for most families, and that can be a good time to reset your routines. So one hot topic in many households is kids and screen time. So the new school year is a great time to set out some new rules. So here with some simple ways to do that is Jeanine Bobenmoyer from the CityMoms. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, she has 2 teenagers, so she knows exactly how all of this goes. So we know a lot of families, they probably loosen the screen time rules or some of the restrictions over the summer. Why is now such a good time to reset?
Because back to school naturally feels like such a fresh start. I mean, you and I were talking earlier about you get the fresh school supplies and maybe a fresh backpack. So why not also make this be that fresh restart on kind of the tech expectations at home too?
I love it because it's your job as a parent to put that structure in place. And we know that our children already thrive in structure, and that really comes to everything that we're talking about. So she has some simple rules for every family that they can put into place to kind of overhaul their lives and reel it back in is what I kind of think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think the biggest thing to know is you don't need dozens of rules, okay? This is just a few kind of consistent habits that we're going to adjust, especially right now, because here we are going into the school year, like we said, fresh start, and it can really help make a difference. So a few things for you. The first one that I love talking about, homework before phones. Get kids in this habit so that when they're coming home, they have that moment to decompress. They're getting focused on homework, and then they can let their brain just kind of maybe play a little on phone while maybe you're making dinner, maybe there's other things that needs to happen at home, but make sure that the priority is on just that decompression immediately after school and then go straight into homework.
Yeah, I love that you are saying decompression because some children really do need to just maybe have that snack. Maybe it's, 10, 15, 20 minutes of, sports or a show or something like that. Just to kind of reset from the long day at school before they get back into the homework phase. So I think that's good.
You're right. And so many
parents
schools
to be aware of their child.
Absolutely. And so many schools are already using screens quite a bit in the classroom. So we're thinking about that quick reset for them, just screen free. Get focused on homework and then have that screen time. But another one I love is having a family charging station. So we have one at home. This is where all of our devices get charged. This is our iPads. These are even our headphones, everything. But the adjustment that you can make is having everyone, including parents, charging their devices outside of the bedroom.
Love.
Because that's going to be one of those critical things that, for us with that blue light from that screen.
Love.
Especially as you're getting ready for bedtime. If you're not shutting that off 30 to 60 minutes before bed, that can really disrupt sleep.
Absolutely. And child, you have to watch these teenagers. They will be on this phone texting in the middle of the night, their friends or significant others or what have you. So you have to watch these kids in these phones.
Absolutely. I mean, turning off unnecessary notifications is also going to be a big one. If you think about all of the apps that all of us have on our phones, kick all those notifications out. You don't need to know that so-and-so has just recently, pinned something new on Pinterest.
You do not need to know.
No, you don't need all those news alerts. That just adds to even more anxiety.
Right.
But turn off those unnecessary notifications. And then the other thing that I think is really critical, create some weekday and weekend expectations. Because obviously the way that your family crafts their weekday is going to be a little different than how things are on a weekend.
Okay, I absolutely love it. Okay, all good things to keep in mind. Did we cover it?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, screen time we know can feel like a constant battle for some families, but these tips really help from keeping it an argument.
Yes.
I mean, do you have any advice for parents who could run into the kind of battle back and forth? Because, we have our independent, outspoken young people at home that we built them to be. But
I know it. I think having a 10-minute family combo before the school year starts, again, to talk about these expectations is great because it just sets the stage of what they can expect for the school year. There are families that write down their tech expectations, in a contract.
Say, some people do the contract.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that wasn't something that we did at home, but I know plenty of families that do. So if you feel that works for you, great. We talked about, moving things out of the bedrooms for overnight. But I really love this resource that we just found recently at the CityMoms. It's called Screen Smarts. And this is a company designed by, actually it's an aunt and her niece. And it's really about that screen time, but also keeping kids safe online. So there are different units within their entire system. And it's just really fascinating to go through that. Parent and child can actually take that tech course together. And so you're answering these
Nice.
questions together, learning a little bit more about what screen time means, what limitations you might want to use at home, but highly recommend that. And last, I think the really critical thing to hear is the goal is not to eliminate technology. We know that it's a big part of our life. It's just helping find the right structure for your family.
I love it, love it, love it, love it. And I love that what you just shared with us is not just the parents dictating how it's going to go, depending on the age and the maturity of your child. It ends up being what we are going to do as a family. And you have to play your part, I have to play my part, but we're working together to make sure that you stay safe, healthy, and that you are being a good online citizen.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
I love it. Thank you for the advice, Jeanine.
Yes.
For more on the City Moms, we have a link at WTHR.com/Parent Squad. We want you to stay with us because we have more to come.